Marty Ehrlich on the line right now. Marty, welcome to WPFW here in Washington, D.C.
Thank you very much, Rusty.
So, Marty, tell us a little bit about how you got started in music. What was your inspiration to get started initially, and what you did along the way?
Well, I think I asked my parents to play an instrument when I was about 8 years old. So I'm not sure what my inspiration was.
Okay.
But I just growing up with a lot of music in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I did start on clarinet and eventually add the saxophone and flute, when I became a teenager. And here I am today.
Right. Where'd you grow up?
Well, in Louisville, Kentucky is where I started, but I'm very much connected with St. Louis, Missouri. I lived there from the age of 10, and it was in St. Louis that I really began my connection to a lot of the great artists from there, like Julius Hemphill and Oliver Lake and Lester Bowie and people like that.
Wow, okay, absolutely.
Which continued on to these many, many years in New York.
I noticed that you had a connection with someone that was very special to me. Became a very good friend whenever he performed in D.C., and that's Jaki Byard. Tell us about that connection.
Sure. Well, I attended the New England Conservatory of Music from 1973 to 1977. The great Gunther Schuller was the president.
Sure.
And he established one of the first African-American music departments really in the country. And he brought in Jaki Byard and George Russell as the two main teachers. So when I attended there, I played in Jaki's big band. I did small group stuff. And for a couple years, I took private lessons from him, just on improvising and stuff. And Jaki was a tremendous educator, a great catalyst. And when I moved to New York, Jaki kept his Apollo Stompas.
Absolutely.
Big band going. We'd play at Barry Harris's place. And, he's a tremendous inspiration.
Oh, man, I tell you, back in the 70s, we used to have musicians are playing in town, like either at the One Step or Blues Alley or whatever, over, for Crabs, the Red House and stuff like that. Jaki was in, it must have been 1978, because it was before Charles Mingus passed, and we really hit it off. Another time I had him over my wife's parents' house. My wife's father was a professional pianist before World War II and did the playing at home and did the taxi cab and postal service career after that, after the war. But John Malachi was his closest friend. But Jaki was over to their house also, so we really, really hit it off. And I'll never forget, one time the Apollo Stompers was playing at DC Space, and they're playing, and Jaki's leading the band, and I walked in, and Jaki actually got up and came over and greeted me and said, "Hey, Louise, Rusty's here." He had that kind of personality. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what's your music and what you've been doing since you arrived in New York and developed your own sound and what you were doing.
Obviously, I got to New York in 1978. It was a long time ago. I've been doing this a long, long time, and gloriously so. So I have, over the years, led any number of groups. But as I write in my latest release, this time on Sunnyside Records, I always come back to the trio with bass and drums. And with this trio, with John Hebert and Nasheet Waite, we first met playing in the Andrew Hill Sextet, the wonderful composer and pianist Andrew Hill. And it's one thing that we always play a piece of Andrew's in all our concerts. And we will be doing that in our concert coming up on August 28th at Palisades Hub on Cathedral Avenue. This is on Thursday, August 28th from 7:30 to 9. Doors open at 7. And this is part of the DC Jazz Fest and also sponsored by Transparent productions. And I'm very excited to return to Washington, D.C., where I've played over the years any number of times. But great to be coming back with my own trio. And we put on an excellent show. We cover a lot of bases and invite the audience to join us as we dig in and listen to each other and come up with some good sounds and stories.
Absolutely, and well, I'm otherwise engaged on a Thursday night, but I'm really excited to have this conversation and have your music in front of me. And I started broadcasting at the Georgetown University station back in the 1960s, 1966 and into 67, and going through their record library, I came across an album called Point of Departure, which was Andrew Hill's the album that he did with Eric Dolphy, and later on I got to see him perform and actually have a couple of conversations with him, and he was just an incredibly astute musician.
Well, the group I did with, he sort of called the Point of Departure Sextet. I actually I played alto sax, bass clarinet, and flute, as Dolphy did. There was trumpet and tenor and rhythm section. So it was sort of, it was in the two records we did and the years we toured, it was, since that is his most well-known recording on Blue Note, Point of Departure, that's what the ensemble, sort of got named.
Sure. No, absolutely.
Many years later when he put this together.
And I'm glad you keep his memory alive through his music by going to it, that's so important. We have a colleague of ours here in D.C., Mike West, who's actually working on his biography, so I'm really excited.
I talked to Mike.
Good, fantastic. That's awesome. Again, the details, what's happening next Thursday?
Yes, so Thursday, as part of the DC Jazz Fest, and also through the auspices of Transparent Productions, Marty Ehrlich Trio Exaltation will be appearing at Palisades Hub, which is at 5200 Cathedral Avenue Northwest. Now, this was a former Quaker meeting house, I believe, and people say it's got a lovely sound, which I'm looking forward to. And we're going to play from 7:30 to 9, sort of one extended set. I think it has an optional donation. And we look forward to seeing all who are able to come by and enjoy. We'll have our new recording with us. And fired up yet again.
Fantastic.
In our nation's capital. Hopefully we can help bring some peace and calm.
I would sure hope so. Absolutely, absolutely. So, but we're going to hear Dusk, Andrew Hill's composition, and again, thanks for calling in tonight, and really it's a real pleasure of mine to be sharing your music over the airwaves. Again, Marty Ehrlich.
Thank you so much, Russ.
You got it. John Byard on bass, and Nasheed Wade on drums, and Marty Ehrlich on Dusk.